Hey guys, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So Nats is now over. We pretty much have an established idea of what the best decks are for BT11 and kind of where the meta is unfolding into for the short time while we have it. So I feel like now is honestly a pretty good time to start looking at BT12. I think a lot of people are burned out on BT11 already. And BT12 is almost like a hard reset on the game in the fact that tons of new decks are coming out and they're all pretty much self-contained within the set. Sure, you're going to have some old support that will carry over into these new decks, but for the most part, they're pretty self-contained. So I do want to go over a lot of that stuff that's going to carry over. So there's going to be cards that we need to get before BT12 releases. Okay, and this is mostly going to be cards that are going to support the existing cards in BT12. We're not going to be looking at already established best decks or anything like that. This isn't a traditional market watch or, get these cards before they skyrocket. Some of these cards will go up in price because of the popularity of the decks that are going to be within BT12. We're about a month and a half away from release. I know it's a little bit further out than what we normally do, but I feel like a lot of people are really hyped for BT12 and they're just ready to move into that format because it looks like a ton of fun. We've got a ton of new decks, ton of good new decks at that, not just like one new deck and that just decimates all. No. This isn't a Black War X scenario. This is a very good, healthy release for the game. So I'm super excited. So let's go ahead and get into this. Don't forget, though, our new memory marker this month is Busomon, so if you're an Angoramon fan, this is going to be a great one to pick up. This is absolutely adorable memory marker, the little bunny here. Super, super cute. Really like this one. Angoramon, I haven't seen a ton of Ghost Game. I'm like 20 episodes into it, but I really like Angoramon, and this really just captures, I think, perfectly with that face. Spot on. This is handmade out of clay by my wife, hand painted as well. You can find this either as a Patreon reward for this month or on her Etsy store, as well as all of our previous memory markers like the other Ghost Game characters. So if you want to get the whole set, definitely go on there and go check them out because these are really, really cute. You can find all those previous memory markers there, as well as some of our Battle Ready Inc. merch is there as well. Also, I do want to just give a quick shout out to my Patreon supporters. You guys are awesome. Literally the reason I come back and I keep making these videos is because of you guys. You guys just support me and allow me to have the motivation to keep coming back and making more videos. So thank you guys. Jordan, Ryan, Jeremy, Brock, Pullboy. Awesome stuff. You guys are amazing. Sticking it out like crazy long time for some of you guys. So I appreciate you sticking around. Past couple weeks have been a little bit of a dry spell because of getting ready for Nats, but now we are back stronger than ever, ready for a new set, ready for a new step in the adventure of trying to qualify for Nats for next year. So excited to get into this BT12 testing and all that stuff. So really looking forward to it. This set is pretty awesome, honestly. We're not doing a card by card or anything like that. We're just going to look at what decks we're going to see the most of here. We're going to see some Gigamon stuff, so we should take a look at that Gigamon support. We've got Red Hybrid making a comeback here, so we're going to need to look at that as well. Coming down in here into blue, we're seeing some Imperial stuff, as well as some new blue hybrid stuff, which is really interesting. I do have some really cool ideas for that one. Moving down to yellow, we get Shine Greymon support, like a full dedicated line of solid support. And it's kind of a double-edged sword because it's actually the beginning of several sets of support for Shine Greymon, which is a little bit overkill. But hey, it's finally here, and it's finally going to be really good. It's a really solid deck, so Shine Greymon support will be really cool. Going in here into green, not too much, just in general. We get some support for Imperial here. We get more of the new Crossheart support in here, a whole new way to play the deck. Quartzmon to go with it as well. Not like a solid single green focused, just a bunch of support for other strategies sitting here in green. Going into black, Black WarGreymon gets more support. I say that, but it's a generic support. Okay, we've got new Omnimon Greymon and Metal Greymon here. We also have a new WarGreymon that we can use. This one's pretty self-contained. I think this one actually goes really well with Greymon X, that sort of thing. Not really a Black WarGreymon, but the other support is fantastic support for Black WarGreymon. Unfortunately, new hybrids for black, which is very, very needed because the black stuff they have already wasn't that great. We just need purple to get some new ones as well. Speaking of purple, coming down in here, again, more support for existing strategies, as well as like the new Shoutmon deck entirely, which is pretty self-contained. There's two different strategies, the Arresterdramon and the Quartzmon, which is basically just sprinkled out through all the colors, like Crossheart normally is. The big one for purple here, though, is the Digimon X. This is going to be a powerhouse of a deck. Arguably, in my opinion, the best deck of the BT12 format, which is a shame because when a deck gets that tag, it ends up being hated on a whole bunch. And purple hasn't been in that spotlight in a long time, and I think it's time that it gets some love again. Black got some love with Black WarGreymon, and then everyone hated on it, but it was like, hey, a black deck finally doing good. Now we're gonna have a purple deck finally doing like exceptionally good besides just Starmon. And it's Beelzemon. Finally, we're gonna have a good Beelzemon deck, and it's just gonna be a shame that people are gonna hate all over it, but it is gonna be good either way. So let's go ahead and jump in here and see what we've got then that's going to be able to support these decks for cards that we need to get. So first up is going to be, we're going to look at the Beelzemon stuff. For the most part, you can use whatever you want. If you want to get the low rarity 10-cent card, go for it. If you want to get this $16 card right here, go for it. However, keep in mind just a quick caveat to this guy. He is getting another Altart in the starter deck. What's really great about the BT12 Beelzemon is that if you just get that starter deck that's releasing, that's going to take care of like 90% of the deck you need, because it's got all the reprints you need from older sets contained within it, which is great, as well as it's got new Altarts, which is really, really awesome. But kind of going off of that, it's like, well, that's a shame I can't use some of my older arts and things like that with it. You can use the original AntMan here from BT2. We've got some great artworks that you can pick up, Altarts. I've seen some strategies use them, some not, so just kind of keep that in mind. But yeah, AntMan's definitely be looking at picking up those for your Beelzemon. That's really the only old thing that's used. Everything else in the Beelzemon decks is pretty much just all new stuff. So that's really, really convenient. Next, we're going to look at the new Gigamon line, right? We got tons of new Gigamon support, actually going to be a competitive, viable deck. So what could we look at to get? Mostly it's going to be a lot of the EX2 stuff. EX2 is probably going to be the best of the Gigamon support that you're going to be able to find for the new stuff. They work really well to each other. So Gigamon, just one of the best solid red babies you can get. The draw one when attacking, super solid. I really like this particularly because you're going to be using the X antibody option again, so you're going to be attacking mid swing. So if you attack and then you get all your draws out, and you draw into whichever like mega or anything like that you need, you can then digivolve mid swing using the X antibody option. So having draw power, I think, is going to be really important. So I like this one for that deck. Prices on this thing has been all over the place for a long time. The market price for it is $29 right now, and there's one for $26, so that's pretty cool. This card's not going to be cheap, though. It's a fantastic looking baby. I have a single copy. It is a gorgeous artwork. Crimson mode. Crimson mode is still going to be your level 7 of choice for the deck because there's no new Crimson mode. Price on this is going down. If you look at this, a lot of these cards that I'm showing you today are all in this like down plunge, but that's because they're literally on the verge of getting support and people aren't looking ahead just yet. Like I said, we're jumping into this BT12 look ahead a little bit earlier than most people are, but because of that, if you're a fan of this channel, then capitalize on what I'm telling you. These cards are going to skyrocket. All the support and stuff like that we've been looking at are all the new decks. This is going to be a must-have card. It's getting an Ultimate Cup printing. Yeah, what is that? 1 first place, and there's 2 tournaments. Okay, that's there's going to be less than 5 copies of that new artwork in rotation in the world, so don't count on that affecting the market of this guy very much. So if you're wanting an alt art, definitely go ahead and pick this one up. Also, that other one's going to be so far out of your price range, it's like what, $15,000 or something for last year's. I don't remember, but yeah, the prices on those cards is crazy. So go ahead and grab this guy while you can. Going right off of that to Takato. Look at this. Takato was used in some really random rogue decks. So the price was actually super high for a good long while, and it's actually been slowly dropping. It's not going to drop much more, though. I mean, this card is a must-have for the deck. If you're playing the Galantmon deck, you have to have Blitz, and so to get all the strategy, that Blitz is 100% necessary. So Takato is a must-have for that. And these, if you've seen these Altart of the Tamers from EX2, them and the babies are the best Altarts in that entire set. All the Tamers, they all look absolutely incredible, foiling on them and everything like that. So really good ones to pick up, especially if you're a fan of this deck and you really want to go hard on it. I definitely recommend go ahead and picking up these Tamers. Right off that, the Gigamon here as well. The Altart just continuing to drop in price. Not going to drop much longer, so go ahead and pick it up. This is one of the best searchers you can have. We get a new searcher in the deck, but it only grabs Takato, where this one is reveal 4. You get a Growl or a Gallant and a Takato. This will be 100% the hard play Gigamon of choice every single time. So yeah, Altarts to this definitely makes sense. Moving on, though, going into the red hybrid, I know we're looking at a lot of red stuff right now. Red hybrid actually making waves in the JP meta still. 2 sets later, it's still getting tops, so expect red hybrid to do quite well here. This card's price is just all over the place. It was high for a little while, several months ago. Green hybrid, Christmas hybrid, all that stuff. Was really good, and so people often use the red rookies in the green hybrid. I gave them access to like Atomic Inferno, things like that. As well as the search, the on-play search was very generic. But yeah, this is going to be a must-have pickup. Again, one of the best searchers that you can have. So Flamemon is a great one. It's at a pretty reasonable price, I would say, right now. Won't stick out there. Emperor, this card has just held onto its price tag for so long. You can see when we first got the announcement for the new stuff, and so people were like really hyping it up, and then like the hype has kind of died off. So prices are low. It's been at 25 for several weeks now, but it's gone back up. It's already on the climb back up. So if you're wanting this is like one of the best Altarts in BT7. Looks phenomenal. I finally got my first copy literally 2 days ago. So I am very ecstatic to finally have my hands on this one. Managed to trade somebody at locals for one, so I was just like, yes, okay, cool. Sometimes I hate making these videos because yes, there will be always buyouts because of videos like this, but maybe not necessarily buyouts, but several people will go in and pick stuff up, and so prices will jump like $10. And so I always hate trying to get cards after I post videos like this. Cards I literally recommend you guys to get, but that's how it is sometimes. Like some of this stuff I'm still searching for myself, like the Flamemons I still don't have a play set of, and so after this video goes live, I'm sure the prices will go up even more, hurting myself trying to get my extra copies. But yeah, Emperor Greymon, another good one to pick up. Susanomon, right off of that, not a must-have for red hybrid or anything, but I think it's a solid level 7 in those situations where you really need to take out a body when digivolving, delete one of your opponent's Digimon. Just from like the JP matches and stuff I've watched, Quartzmon is like a real pain in the butt for a lot of decks to deal with once it gets out. So having this in your back pocket just to deal with that, even if you're just digivolving on top of one of your level 6s that's suspended that you're just stuck with, having this just for that is totally okay. The recycle could be necessary. Red does typically burn through a lot of resources. Granted, the tamer that goes with them, I always get his name, Takato, Takuya. You want to have sources in trash for that. You don't necessarily want to use your Susanomon on top of your tamer to warp, but going on top, it's a good target to go on top of a level 6 with. Okay, so $10 for this Altart is crazy low. Like, it's so wild that this card has dropped as low as it has, but you can see it's already just starting to pick back up on the prices here, so get it while you can. WarGreymon X, I mentioned this one at the beginning of the video with the new support of the like the WarGreymon that we're getting and things like that. This would be a pretty solid one to get with that WarGreymon. Just jumping back over here and looking at it down here in the black section. So it's got raid, and when it raids, when the target is switched, unsuspend this Digimon, so you can Evo, swing, attack, and then use its effect to unsuspend itself. You can then immediately also use your X antibody option to digivolve over this guy. And so if you're using the new Metal Greymon here to have piercing, then you're going to get that piercing with the WarGreymon X. Gaining all that memory back, so very, very powerful. And then immediately swing a second time with your WarGreymon X, gaining more memory back, because this memory gain isn't limited. So as long as you're doing checks, you're gaining memory. So attacking twice with piercing with multiple security checks, WarGreymon X is going to be an absolute powerhouse. I mean, this is so crazy. It's as low as it is. It did pick up a little bit there because WarGreymon X just did well in some tournaments, and so it picked back up. But then you can see when Black WarGreymon released, it just like this deck just died off instantly and disappeared, and so the card has been dropping in price. But as soon as BT12 releases, it's going to go right back up to where it was, so pick it up now. Going back into talking about Shine Greymon. Shine Greymon's getting stuff that allows you to play Marcuses for free. So yes, we're going to get new Marcuses, the one that can turn into a Digimon and actually attack. That's solid, but this is also still solid as well as a backup choice. This box chopper looks great. The price is super affordable on it right now. You can see where the hype for the announcement came, and then the hype died off, and so it dropped back down. And then I don't know what this uptick right here was for. Because it's already gone back down. I'm not sure why it went up for a little bit there. I guess there was just lots of people buying at that time. But this is another one that's a solid include. Just because you get to play so many Marcuses for free, might as well, capitalize on that. Play the new one and this one both. Solid ideas. This is just an interesting one I want to just kind of throw in here. I saw this teched into a winning deck. Hawkman, reveal the top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 2-color red card among them to your hand. The whole deck is for Shine Greymon is red and yellow. Okay, it's duo colors, and it's going to get more support, more red and yellow, yellow reds for the next 2 sets after BT12. So 3 sets in total of nothing but Shine Greymon support. So your whole deck eventually will be all duo colors with red. Hawkman is a fantastic card for that strategy, just because you're going to have mostly just going to have a ton of Agumons, but often when you have decks that are like this that involve building up into a stack, you're going to have 14 rookies. You're going to have 12 of your Agumons, and then you're going to have 2 slots left over for a tech. This is a pretty cool tech to include a great on-play, searcher for you. Reveal 4, a Reveal 4 is really solid. Moving on, though, Jellymon. So the reason we're talking about Jellymon is because of the new blue support in the blue hybrid stuff. So you've got the Renamon that can digivolve on top of Tamers. And if you're familiar with the Jellymon or the Old Force Jellymon, they both require a ton of Tamers. The Tamers giving like jamming, that sort of thing. So you can do some really, cool cheeky plays with this. You can slide stuff in to get more jamming, get tons of checks with like level 4s. So this is really cool for that. So go ahead and pick up your Jellymon stuff. Even Jelly Old Force. Jelly Force is still like a semi-viable deck. Now, granted, full-on Old Force has really taken over, but I think there's still room definitely for like Jelly Force to pop off. And going back to this, I think it's a really solid one. $10. This card right now, market price at $15. Yeah, that's a really good deal. I waited forever to finally finish off my collection of these. They would dip down to 10, and I'd pick up a few, and then I would buy out the low end ones, and it'd go back up to 15 or back down to 10 again. This is easily a $20 card. Altart looks fabulous. Easily a $20 card, so definitely go ahead and pick these up. You also need your tournament pack ones. Tournament pack ones, just remember, those aren't in like production or release or anything like that. Like once those tournaments are gone, you can't get those cards anymore. These promos that are like really limited like that, once people want them, they get bought out, and there's no new ones to go into the market. So keep that in mind. There's only 2 Jellymons in. Yeah, you see a bunch here, but they're actually only 2. The BT9021 and the promo 061. These are the only 2 Jellymons. So if you want to capitalize on that jamming by having a Jellymon in your inheritable, yeah, you're gonna need these 2. So you're gonna need 4 of these and 4 of these. So go ahead and pick these up. This is a screaming good deal on these guys. $4 each. I remember whenever I got my playset for them, they were like, I want to say 15-ish. Yeah, I got a playset when they were 15 each. So now that they're 4, like, oh my god. Granted, I played that deck a ton back when, so I got my value out of them for sure. But go ahead and pick these up. Super solid, especially if you're a fan of the Jellymon strategy. And to go with that, you also need the Kyoshiro from the tournament pack as well. You know, they came in the same tournament pack. So again, same exact argument. You're not going to be able to get this guy once it gets bought out, because there's going to be no more in production and in release, you know, going into the wild. So go and pick this up. This is what gives you your jamming. This is what kind of makes the whole deck function and makes the whole strategy a possibility, is this guy right here. So the fact that he's as low as he is pretty wild. I think this is an easy buyout, honestly, for people trying to make a good bit of money. A buyout on this, and that deck does well. Yeah, you're gonna make hand over fist dollars. Bagramon here, it actually popped up in a security control list that topped in US Nats. Really cool. Blows my mind that an Altart. This new BT11 Altart is this low. This price is just like roller coasting like wild right now. Bagramon's getting support though, like an actual like viable deck. It's got some other stuff, Bagra Army, you know, support already. Go ahead and pick up all your Bagra Army stuff, and then go ahead and pick up your Altarts of this guy, because you're gonna want it, because we've the secret rare for BT12 is the Darkness Bagramon. Okay, so you're gonna want, you know, all these guys to go together. This is a level 7 here. You need Bagramon and Dark Knightmon to digicross with him. So you're gonna want your Bagramons, you're gonna want your Altarts for sure to go into this guy. Remember, this guy has like 2 Altarts. I think it's got a silver grayish one and a gold grayish one or something like that. Like 2 different. In addition to its normal Altarts. So what is that? 4 artworks you can get out of this set of this Darkness Bagramon. You can bet that this guy's price will go up once people, because they're going to get their hands on that. They're going to want to play those Altarts just because they want to flex. And if they're going to be flexing, they're going to be wanting to get all the way, flex all the way and grab this guy. So the fact that he's $8 is just blows my mind as well. So good pickup for sure. And then closing it out here, a little bit long video, talking about Omnimons. Okay, we're always talking about Omnimons. This is like almost the Pikachu for Digimon. Okay, it's just one of those cards that people are always just kind of looking at. The Altarts, I think that what's killing this one is the fact that it's getting that gold reprint that's coming out this summer, and so it's kind of driven the price down on this. I think this is one of those cards that, like, if the game continues to do well for another 10 years, you know, this is always going to be one of those cards that has potential to have crazy good value, like OG Blue Eyes White Dragon, you know, like first edition Legend of Blue Eyes. You know, that's what this card basically is. So eventually this will just kind of see, you know, incredible value. But besides that, besides the obvious ones, Omnimon X, I think, is a really good tech card. I used it in my Nats list to deal with to deal with Grandis, because it just completely crapped all over Grandis. You just stick this guy, and then basically you just win. And I never lost to Grandis because of this card. Literally, the second I got this into play, I won every game. Okay, the only games I ever lost were literally when I didn't see this guy fast enough. So I always ran 2 copies in my Gigamon deck to guarantee I saw it when I needed to. But besides the Grandis matchup, Digimon X is terrifying. Okay, absolutely terrifying. So you can have protection with this guy, which is really good, because he's an Omnimon. He gets that same protection as like the Greymon protection ones. So that's really good. But this is what keeps you alive, because when Digimon X attacks and he trashes your entire security stack without checking anything and then swings for game, all in one go, yeah, you're going to need something to stop those attacks, stop that. You're going to need more than just one blocker, okay? You're going to need to be able to keep yourself alive from multiple attacks. If they got stuff in raising area, something else on field, hybrids, I don't know. You got to be able to turn off all those attacks, multiple attacks. And so Omnimon X is going to be a good way to get you there. So I think this is a really good tech card for that matchup specifically. In addition to that, Omnimon X antibody, always a solid one for finishing out games like WarGreymon X. This will be a pretty solid one to pick up. Because going off what I said earlier with the WarGreymon unsuspending, and you're going to attack again, the X antibody option to Digivolve mid-attack is not once per turn, so every time you unsuspend and attack again, you can X-Evo again and again and again. As long as you keep unsuspending and attacking, you can keep doing that combo. So I think this is a really good one for a really aggressive WarGreymon X build. And then, of course, Blitz Omnimon, always just kind of a good go-to have in your back pocket for a lot of these decks. If you're running like a red deck or a blue deck, this is a great finisher that your opponent just cannot always be able to deal with. So I really like the Blitz Omnimon. There's plenty of artworks to choose from if you just want a cheap one just to have. Now's a really good time. $7 is probably the lowest I've ever seen this card. It's been an easy $10 card for a hot minute, even with all these duplicate alt arts, and just pick out whichever one you want. It's also getting a box topper in BT12 for the Blitz Omnimon. However, it's supposedly supposed to be short printed. We'll see. It's supposed to be a rare drop in the box topper packs. We'll see what happens there, if it actually truly is, or if it's going to be like the Imperial Dragon mode alt art. Looked great, but was like what, $1 something now, so it was like basically worthless. It could end up being like that, but we don't know just yet. But this is, I don't really see this card going up in price or anything like that. I would just say this is a good one to get if you're playing like a red hybrid or a gallant. Maybe not a gallant, but definitely a red hybrid. I think this is a solid one of to have in your deck, just to clutch those games out. And that'll do it for our cards to get before BT12. If you've made it this far, somehow, some way, and you're not already, please subscribe to the channel. Clearly, you like listening to me for this length of time, so go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already, and like the video. Trying to get to that big 5K and doing a big, massive giveaway. Also, I've already done this once, but I want to shout out Jordan. Thank you again for letting me use all of your max rarity cards. For Nats, a lot of these cards I don't own, and I've talked about, hey, you should get this, you should get this, you should get this. I don't have the funds for this, so I want other people to capitalize on these kind of things whenever I give these kind of announcements, but it's because of, people like him that I can still at least feel like I have max rarity whenever I play in big events, because, people let me borrow their stuff. So I really, really appreciate that. That's super awesome, until I can eventually one day maybe get my own. But again, thank you guys so much for watching the video, and as always, I'll see you in the next one.